Raj, Priya, Arun, Mira, and Neha walked home. The streetlights buzzed, casting eerie shadows. They had just watched a scary movie, The Haunted House on the Hill. Each rustle of leaves made them jump.
Did you see that ghost's face?
So creepy.
Mira shivered. Arun laughed, trying to be brave.
It's just a movie, guys.
But even Arun felt a shiver down his spine. He quickened his pace, eager to reach the safety of home. They reached the bus stop. It was empty and dark. The last bus had left. A gust of wind howled through the trees.
Oh no, what do we do now?
The others were silent. Their heartbeats echoed the pounding of their feet on the pavement as they raced to the station. But it was deserted. The last bus was gone. Fog rolled in, thick and cold. Fear tightened its grip. Suddenly, headlights pierced the fog. A bus.
Look!
Raj pointed. Hope flickered in his chest, but something felt off. The bus creaked to a stop. It was old, paint peeling. The doors hissed open, revealing a dimly lit interior. A driver with eyes that seemed to burn into their souls gestured them aboard. He didn't speak. One other passenger sat in the back, an old woman, her face hidden in the shadows of a tattered.
Thank goodness.
Priya whispered as they climbed on, their unease growing. The bus smelled musty, like old books and forgotten things. They sat down, far from the old woman, their backpacks clutched in their laps. The bus lurched forward, the engine groaning like a wounded animal. Instead of the familiar city lights, the bus plunged into a thick forest. Trees loomed, gnarled fingers reaching for the bus.
Where is he taking us?
Mira whispered, her voice trembling. No one answered. The only sound was the rattling of the bus and the old woman's soft, raspy breathing. The fog grew thicker, swirling against the windows like ghostly apparitions. Raj felt a chill travel down his spine. He looked at his friends. Their faces, pale under the dim lights, reflected his own growing fear. They were lost, trapped in this nightmare bus with a driver who never spoke and an old woman who hadn't moved an inch.
As the bus moves deeper into the mist, Neha glances at the elderly woman sitting a few seats ahead. At first, she seems normal, just another passenger on this late-night ride. But after a few minutes, Neha notices something strange. The woman appears to be fading, as if slowly becoming transparent. "Guys, do you see that?" Neha whispers, her voice trembling with fear. But when Priya looks over, the woman is sitting there, completely solid, as if nothing had changed. Priya brushes it off, telling Neha that her imagination is just playing tricks on her after the horror movie they watched earlier. Trying to calm herself, Neha keeps quiet, but her heart races. Just as she starts to feel more relaxed, the bus takes a sharp turn. Arun, sitting by the window, looks out and notices something odd. The bus is heading in the opposite direction of their town, toward the forest, not away from it. Alarmed, he calls out to the driver, "Hey, you're going the wrong way!" But the man doesn't respond. His eyes remain fixed on the road ahead, his face emotionless. "Hey, did you hear me? You're going the wrong way!" Arun yells again, louder this time, but the driver continues in silence, staring blankly ahead. A chill runs down Neha's spine. The sense of dread intensifies. She looks back at the elderly woman, but now, there's no one there. The seat is empty. "Guys, she's gone," Neha whispers, her voice barely audible. Priya and Arun turn to look, their faces pale with fear. They search the bus frantically, but there's no sign of the elderly woman. How could she just disappear? Priya stammers, her voice shaky. The bus moves deeper into the forest, the mist growing thicker around them. Neha's mind races. What is happening? Where did the woman go? And why isn't the driver responding? Suddenly, the bus screeches to a halt. The passengers are thrown forward, grabbing onto the seats to steady themselves. The doors open slowly with a creaking sound, but no one steps on or off. The eerie silence of the forest envelops them. Neha, Priya, and Arun exchange worried glances. They know something is terribly wrong. "Should we get off and walk back?" Arun suggests, but the fear in his voice is palpable. None of them want to leave the bus, but staying feels just as dangerous. They gather their belongings, hearts pounding, and cautiously step out into the fog. The air is cold and damp, the forest eerily quiet. As they walk away, Neha glances back one last time. Through the mist, she sees the faint outline of the elderly woman watching them from the window. Her eyes meet Neha's, and in that brief moment, Neha feels an overwhelming sense of dread. Then the bus doors close with a final ominous thud. The engine roars to life, and the bus drives off into the darkness, carrying its secrets with it. The friends are left standing in the foggy forest, haunted by the vanishing passenger and the terrifying journey they'll never forget.
All right, picture this. You and your friends are on a late-night bus ride heading home after an eventful day. The laughter begins to die down and a strange silence fills the air. Something feels off, but no one wants to admit it. Mira, trying to break the tension, suggests a distraction. "Let's tell ghost stories," she says with a nervous grin. She starts with an old urban legend, a ghostly bus that picks up unsuspecting passengers late at night, only to vanish forever, taking everyone inside with it. As Mira spins her tale, the atmosphere shifts. The once friendly, cozy bus now feels like it's holding its breath. Raj, feeling the chill creeping up his spine, decides to check where they are. He makes his way to the front of the bus, peers through the windshield, but all he can see is an endless stretch of fog and gnarled, twisted trees. "Where are we going? This doesn't look right," Raj asks the driver, his voice trembling slightly. The driver, without turning to face him, mutters something chilling under his breath. "You shouldn't have gotten on." Before Raj can fully grasp the meaning of those words, the bus screeches to an abrupt halt. Startled, everyone looks around. Outside, there's nothing but a narrow, overgrown path and a single flickering streetlight in the distance. The eerie glow casts long shadows that dance menacingly in the fog. Raj, driven by a mix of curiosity and fear, decides to investigate. "I'll be right back," he tells the others, though his voice betrays his uncertainty. He steps off the bus, but the moment his foot touches the ground, the flickering light goes out, plunging everything into darkness. Heartbeats race in the suffocating silence. Just when they think it can't get any worse, the light flickers back on, but Raj is gone. Panic sets in. The once comforting confines of the bus now feel like a trap. They call out for Raj, but there's no response. What started as a distraction has turned into their worst nightmare. The friends huddle together, the weight of Mira's story now feeling like a premonition. Is this just a cruel coincidence, or have they unwittingly boarded the ghostly bus of legend? In the dim, flickering light, they realize their situation is more dire than any urban legend. And now, they must decide. Stay inside the bus or venture into the unknown. What would you do? If you thought this was spine-chilling, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the scariest journeys are the ones we least expect. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the night.
The tension was palpable. Every second felt like an eternity as Priya's voice echoed through the dense fog. "Raj!" she yelled, desperation cracking her voice. But the silence that followed was deafening. Neha's eyes darted around, scanning the eerie landscape. Arun's fists clenched, frustration and fear battling for dominance. Mira, usually the calm one, was visibly shaken, her fingers trembling as she clutched her phone, futilely trying to get a signal. Panic set in. They needed answers. Now. Priya turned to the driver, her eyes blazing with anger and fear. "Where's Raj? What did you do to him?" she screamed. The driver didn't flinch. His eyes remained fixed on the road ahead, his face a mask of indifference. When he finally spoke, his voice was cold and gravelly, sending shivers down their spines. "I told you not to get off." Fear tightened its grip on their hearts. Neha glanced at Priya, her mind racing. What did the driver mean? Why had he warned them? And most terrifying of all, what had happened to Raj? The bus lurched forward suddenly, forcing them back into their seats. The engine roared, and the vehicle plunged deeper into the unknown. Outside, the fog grew thicker, its ghostly tendrils wrapping around the bus like a suffocating shroud. The twisted branches of the trees clawed at the windows, as if trying to break through and drag them into the darkness. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with fear and uncertainty. Neha, Priya, Arun, and Mira sat in stunned silence, each grappling with their own thoughts. What had started as a simple trip had turned into a nightmare. And now, with Raj gone, they were left wondering if they would ever see him again. The bus continued its relentless journey into the fog, the driver's warning echoing in their minds. "I told you not to get off," but it was too late now. They could only hope that somewhere, somehow, Raj was still out there, waiting to be found. As the trees loomed over them and the fog grew ever denser, one question burned in their minds. Would they make it out of this alive? Only time would tell.